How many people did he murder?
I hate when I get notifications and it's like people are streaming. Like if I want to watch someone streaming, I'll look them up. Anyway. I have a few more things. I'll do as much as I feel like, I guess. This next thing is not actually a jammidodger video. It's a Matt Walsh video. So we've got Matt Walsh, trans YouTuber responds to What is a Woman trailer. So it's his response to Matt Walsh, and I guess Matt Walsh is like clapping back. I think Matt Walsh is a bit of a dunderhead. I'm never going to forget the time that he told Joe Rogan that he thinks there's millions of kids on puberty blockers. The actual figure was a few thousand, and he was corrected by Joe Rogan, you know. And this was after the What is a Woman shit as well, so he had no excuse for that. But at the same time, I think jammidodger is a grifter and a liar and is complicit in pushing an extremely unrealistic view of what transitioning actually is. I've made several videos. You can actually watch those and not just the first few minutes. Matt Walsh and jammidodger in the same video. Yeah, this is like... It reminds me a bit of... I don't know who's seen that. It was Charlie Kirk versus someone called Benny Carollo. And it was literally like, let's take the most moronic fucking right-winger and the most moronic fucking left-winger, deranged fucking freak, and have them battle it out. It's special. It's great. Anyway, yeah, Matt Walsh versus jammidodger. Let's have a look.
Today we have another...
Oh, we're cancelling the cancellers now. Oh, Matt Walsh, yeah, fuck yeah.
Case of a daily cancellation inception, where we respond to somebody responding to me. In this case, it's Jamie Rains, who Wikipedia tells me is an English YouTuber with over 900,000 subscribers, a research psychologist and LGBT advocate. Rains has a PhD in psychology and has disturbingly, quote...
Yeah, this is what everyone tells me constantly. Anytime I fucking talk about him, it's all this like... Oh, actually, no, the last one they didn't because I've mentioned it a bunch of times. But like... He's got a PhD. I think he knows what he's talking about. Like, yeah, fuck off.
Conducted research into the sexual response of transgender men. Rains is also a self-professed, quote-unquote, trans man. There have been many YouTube responses to the trailer for my film, What is a Woman? Also many responses on other platforms, including on Twitter, where the primary response from the left on Twitter has been to mass report it and try, so far unsuccessfully, to get it pulled from the site.
I really should watch What is a Woman, as you know. Like, Matt Walsh is very off-putting to me, so that's probably why I haven't.
So I'm getting these email notifications about reports, people reporting the trailer, multiple times a day. But I'm choosing Rains to respond to because this is a channel with more subscribers than I have, and somebody with...
Oop, not anymore. Matt Walsh has 2.69 million. Jamie Rains has 1.11 million.
Much more formal education than I have, so nobody can accuse me of punching down. Not that there's...
Hey, same.
Anything wrong with punching down, mind you. I'm a firm believer that one should punch in whichever direction needs to be punched, but we'll focus here for now.
Listen, I think punching down should be much more like specifically defined. Like if you're looking at someone who obviously is not all there in the head, that could be an example of punching down, for example. Or like using your much bigger audience to like swamp someone's comments with like shit or something. What would they do without Matt Walsh types? I don't know, because it kind of seems to me like a lot of these trans people need someone to hate, like need it.
The video is over 10 minutes long, so we won't be able to pick it apart piece by piece, but we'll watch enough to get the point.
You won't be able to watch a 10-minute video and do it piece by piece. Like, fucking hell. It's like, are you working to really tight, like, video lengths? 10 minutes. Speed it up a bit.
Surely, I mean, this PhD psychologist and LGBT activist will be able to swiftly debunk the entire premise of my film and utterly...
Oh, please don't count on it. Please do not. He's full of shit.
...humiliate me in the process. I'm just a transphobe with a high school diploma, after all. Shouldn't be much of a challenge. So we'll see how our friend Jamie Rains does.
It's sort of the one cocked... I'm not talking about Jamie Rains here. The one cocked eyebrow that Matt Walsh has is kind of distracting, I gotta say.
It's called What is a Woman? From the Daily Wire, which I think I've heard of, made by...
I think I've heard of. Like, you can hear the tone of voice. Like, he's so slimy. I'm sorry, I dislike jammidodger more than I dislike Matt Walsh. I'm sorry if that is a problem for anyone. You're just gonna have to fucking cope with it. And I've made pretty clear my reasons as to why. Anyway.
Somebody, or involving heavily somebody called Matt Walsh.
I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, and if anyone should...
What is a woman?
I don't believe he passed high school. Fucking, I don't know. I don't think in America the bar is very high. Jammy is worse. Yeah, definitely. I don't like Matt Walsh, but I dislike jammidodger more.
Immediately, is he wearing a sandwich board that says, "What is a woman?" Okay.
What is a woman?
Immediately, is he wearing a sandwich board that says, "What is a woman?" Okay.
Yes, I think he is wearing a sandwich board saying, "What is a woman?" Amazing insight, by the way. Thank you.
Can you tell me that? Well, you're at the Women's March. You must have some idea. Please, if one person can tell me what a woman is.
You are not here for women! We ask you to leave!
What is that?
What is that? Oh, wow. So a dude going to a woman's march and going up to women and asking them to define what a woman is.
Is this say what you see? Oh, wow, look, a man in glasses and a pink jumper and an earphone, and he's saying words. God, this is like Sniper Wolf level of nothing.
And probably acting like it's some big gotcha moment. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, let's not forget the sandwich board. I mean, what definition was he looking for?
Oh yeah, the sandwich board. Remember when he was wearing a sandwich board? Literally, you saw him wearing a sandwich board. Wow, thank you. I would actually have forgotten about the sandwich board because I'm so ADHD addled, as are all trans people, that I would not have remembered that and been like, haha, yeah, what a loser. Sandwich board.
For one based off of genitals and reproductive organs? That's a little bit very narrow, and not exactly what was he looking for. Gotcha moment. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, let's not forget the sandwich board. I mean, what definition was he looking for?
What definition was he looking for? A definition of woman. I think he was just looking for what people's definitions are.
Or one based off of genitals and reproductive organs?
Well, yeah, I mean, a woman is an adult human female. So what's an adult? What's a human? What's a female? You know, a female is a female human. Someone who has those reproductive organs. It is like that. Please, whatever happened, whenever you hit your head and forgot what sex was, please go see someone about that shit. I promise you, it will help. It's been so freeing. Just being like, yeah, I'm male. It's fine. I don't care. It's so freeing. Not having to pretend that the world is completely different how it is and have to cope so much just to make any of this shit work.
That's a little bit very narrow and not exactly great to boil people down to their parts.
How is he boiling people down to their parts? Don't give Sniper Wolf that cussy. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, Sniper Wolf. This is worse than, like, Jinx. Because at least Jinx didn't really say anything to sound stupid, you know? So it's a narrow definition. What's...
I mean, what definition was he looking for? One based off of genitals and reproductive organs?
What's wrong with that?
That's a little bit very narrow and not exactly great to boil people down to their...
Is that... Like, how is that boiling someone down? Like... Jesus Christ, he just says things and doesn't explain it. Like, you just have to come up with any objection. This is how you make this kind of content. Just come up with any objection, pretty much. Learn the talking points. Make sure you never cop to anything. Make sure you always have some problem with what people are saying, even if it makes no sense what that problem is. And you're golden.
Apart.
Okay, well, first of all, Jamie, how do you know I'm a dude? I didn't tell you that. That was not said. So where'd you
He's so funny, Matt. Jesus Christ.
get that from? And yeah, it is a gotcha moment. In fact, if people are marching in a women's march and holding signs and chanting slogans claiming that women are under attack and being oppressed, and yet they have absolutely no idea what a woman is and can't
This is a good point, I think. Let's hear him out.
begin to define the term, then yes, that's a gotcha moment.
Yes, that's a bit cooked. It's a bit cooked. Scammy Dodger. Hi, little cat feet. Hope you're good. Fuck, what was I saying? Yeah, like a women's march where none of them know even what a woman is. Like, it is a bit preposterous.
As it reveals the inherent absurdity and incoherence of their worldview. But it's not a gotcha moment that I engineer. Okay, I'm not backing anybody into a corner. All I did was walk up to them and ask them what the words they're using mean. That's a fair question. In fact,
Yeah, but because he's done it, it's heinous as fuck because we're trans and we're sensitive. You've seen this video before. Fair enough. I have not. I honestly have never really watched any Matt Walsh stuff. I just avoided it.
that's the fairest question you can ever ask anyone, is when they're using words to say, well, what do you mean by that? How could that be an unfair question? If it becomes a gotcha moment for
The problem is with certain kinds of trans people, with these kind of trans activist types, any extremists really, you're constantly having to be like, what do you mean by that?
for you that only shows just how totally vapid and ridiculous your ideology is. As for what kind of definition I'm looking for, well, to start with, I'd like a definition, some kind of definition. Let's just get a definition on the table first, and then we can debate whether it's the right or wrong one. But you guys won't put any definition at all on the table. You act like the word has...
Nope, because it's about obscuring, it's about obfuscation, it's about not really having strong, secure ideas, because then people might be able to criticize them. And these people, A, hate being criticized, and B, don't have a clue what they're fucking talking about, so can't actually meaningfully deal with criticism. That's why they just divert to other stuff, a la Leo and Willie, or Jez doing activism. Everyone else, presumably, I'm going to deal with that's going to spurg out at me.
No meaning at all. Like it's just a bunch of arbitrary gibberish, and yet you continue to use the word, and you expect us all to know what it means, or to know what you mean when you use it.
He's kind of got a point. I mean, you know, we don't want words to mean anything, but it's not a good thing. Like, I don't fucking know. Probably one of the few Matt Walsh videos I've seen, besides maybe that one you question covered with the trans woman who questioned. Oh yeah, fair enough. Like, I don't know. I'm sure the deranged shit from him is out there somewhere. I'm not usually a fan of like hardcore Republicans, but for the most part, he's kind of right. But then Jammy's criticism was terrible, so I don't know.
Use it. So again, is it a gotcha? Yes, it certainly is. But I didn't get you. You got yourself.
Oh, from the controversial mind of Matt Walsh.
Man with PhD proves he can read. Good job.
I'm a husband. I'm a father of 4. I host a talk show. I give speeches.
Why is he even reacting to these bits? Like, I don't know how long this... He said it was a 10-minute video. I think What is a Woman is longer than 10 minutes. Why would you pick clips like this?
I write books. I like to make sense of things.
Yeah, he's like saying what he does, and he's like making fun of it. What about when you talk about like your PhD and stuff? Do you want people to be like... Like, the only reason I shit on that is because your fucking dipshit followers think that it means anything to me.
Woman is not anything in particular.
There is not one particular thing.
It could be many things to many people.
Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas.
No, I reject this wholeheartedly. Women do not have penises.
I like scented candles, and I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah.
How do I know if I'm a woman?
Oh dear God, what is he doing? Why is he making this? To just show...
Well, he's making an argument. It's called an argument, Jamie. You might not know about this because your head is entirely filled with whipping cream.
A compilation of people saying it can't be boiled down to one thing. Some women do have penises, like trans women. Some men do have vaginas, like some trans men. And you're...
Yes, but they're female. Like, you are female. I am male. I don't have a penis. I have breasts. I'm still male. You know what I mean? Say flamboyant. Oh, with the... Yeah. Sorry, I keep thinking you mean when he dresses, and he actually dresses, like, perfectly normally. He's one of the more normal trans people out there in terms of, like, fashion. But yeah, I don't know. You see it a fair amount. Med student in South Africa. Cape Town is slowly adopting this gender nonsense too. Yeah, I don't know. Sex exists. These people just pretend it doesn't and steamroll you with bullshit.
Response is, I like scented candles. Is that what makes a woman?
Well, yeah, he's trying to get to a more established definition from this person. So it's like, well, here's an example of things I, a man, like, but I'm still not a woman. Like, Jesus Christ, it's called an argument. The PhDs, do they not have to engage in, like, criticism and arguments and stuff? I'm like, mind blown, because I had to do some of that in, like, college and university. I didn't do a PhD. Like, what the fuck? Really?
I don't know. Does it? I mean, you tell me. Because a second ago, you said that a woman can't be defined by her parts. Now you're saying that having an interest in feminine things also doesn't make you a woman. So what does, Jamie? You've declared that neither interest...
Self-ID. That's the acceptable answer. It's what you call yourself. So I used to be a woman because I used to call myself a woman. Now I'm not anymore because I'm a male and I'm a trans woman, and I'm more accepting of the facts of the matter. So I'm not a woman anymore. I was a woman for a while and now I'm not. It totally makes sense. Just don't think about it, like, at all. Person with horrible depression is what we called it at my university. Jesus Christ. Trans women are women are vagina havers. Who's being brought to their genitalia? Yeah, exactly. But they don't care about how hypocritical their arguments are. They don't care about how wrongly they use, like, actual, like, turf arguments. Because there's usually, like, gender critical saying that trans people are boiling it down to body parts. So yeah, I don't know. It's not meant to be coherent. It's not meant to make sense. And if you try and make sense of it, then people will just tell you that he has a PhD and you don't, therefore you should shut up.
Interests nor body parts define a woman, which would seem to indicate that you have a solid idea in your head as to what does define a woman, and yet you have yet to provide that definition. What if I decide that my love of scented candles makes me a woman? After all, I'm not just talking about the manly sense, okay? Like leather or bonfire or something. I can go with a lavender candle, okay? That's how girly the candles can get sometimes. And if
A woman is PMS every month. Oh my God.
I say that makes me a woman, who are you to say that I'm wrong? You can only dismiss my scented candle-based definition if you have some other objective definition in mind. But if you...
This is the thing, like, it takes someone as stupid as Jamie to be, like, this easily owned by Matt Walsh. Fucking hell.
You don't. If you have no idea what a woman is, then for all you know, a woman is truly just anyone who's purchased a scented candle at any point in their life. That definition is at least better than the definition you're offering, because you aren't offering any. You're not a scientist. You're not a gender studies major.
No.
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got a dick.
Is that the same guy who, like, kicked someone out of his shop? Hang on. Hang on. I need to find out now. Because I thought it was, like, a Star Wars shop or something. I could be wrong. Were they kicked out? They were just shouting at him the whole time. This person.
For nearly 25 years, Don Sucre side on her.
Major.
No.
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got...
Yeah, it's the same guy. Holy shit. Okay, we're watching this.
You're not a woman. You don't look like a woman. You don't act like a woman.
The confrontation started inside.
Trans women are women.
Wow, great argument.
Trans women are women.
And spilled into the street.
See, is this just... Here's this thing. People keep saying this thing. Trans people just want to exist. Is this just wanting to exist, or is this causing a problem everywhere you go? I'd love it if Jamie could tell us how puppies and kittens are created. I think they identify as existing and then they exist. I think that's what it is. Just pop in. Because Jamie forgets that human males, females, and intersex, regardless of trans or not. Yeah, I mean, intersex is just disorders of a certain kind. It's not even a third gender. It's not a third sex. It's not any of that. A part of the animal. Yeah, true. We evolved from mammals. I'm not aware of non-binary dogs or what the fuck ever. She keeps harassing the old man from what it looks like. Yeah, there was something in his store that she took exception to, and she started having a go at him.
Not a chick.
Aberdeen Councilwoman Tiesa Mesky.
Here's the thing, okay? What's wrong with saying you don't see this person as a woman? What's wrong with saying you're not a woman because I see a male and you were born male and are a male person? What's wrong with that? Someone calls me a male, I'm not fucking suing them because it's true. I used to make small gamete. I used to have the male organ that I no longer have, but I had that done. It didn't happen naturally. I'm not a chicken. That chick's traps are huge. Jesus Christ. I'll take your word for that. Jamie is evil for spreading such lies. Jamie has got to be intelligent enough to recognize their lies, but tells them anyway. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I called him stupid just now. I don't actually know if I think he's stupid. He has to be one or the other. Like, either it's being dumb or it's being extremely dishonest. I do think he's extremely dishonest. I think he's a grifter, to be honest with you. And he's grifting to a sinking ship, so, hey.
Confronted owner Don Sucre about a sign he posted in his store saying, if you are born with a slang for a male body part, you are not.
Yeah, so who actually initiated the problem? It's the trans person, if we're clear.
A chick.
What he wrote there was so demeaning and so dismissive of who I am and who any...
Well, no, you're taking it personally.
Trans woman is.
Meskis, a trans woman, says she
Meskis
knows Sucre has the right to say what he wants.
You're nuts.
Oh my god, this is so cringe. Like, just leave it. Just fucking leave it. Have a bit of a sense of humor. Yeah, I'm a fucking man who thinks he's a woman. Yeah, I don't know, it's funny. I don't know, just anything but this. This is the worst thing you can do, ever. I can't think of much worse except going in and stabbing the guy over it.
You need to back off now. No, you do.
But she wanted to tell him to his face it was hurtful.
I would really like them to open their eyes and their heart and see that, you know, we are.
And that's the way of going about it, shouting trans women are women, making it into a fucking activist fucking whatever.
Are people, we are who we are, and all we want to be is accepted in our community.
Now,
I actually do not give a fuck about being accepted anywhere anymore. You remember, I'm Jake the Peg, a leg with the extra leg, Rolf Harris. Jesus. I don't know what you mean, but you amused me, so. It's the most masculine thing to do. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, don't even get me started. I'm sure I'll get cancelled, but yeah, the femininity on display is, oh, and there's 2 of them there, Jesus. I think I'm the only trans woman that isn't dating another trans woman. I'm joking, there's probably loads of them. But yeah.
I don't care what they do, but don't come in here and complain to me about stuff. I have free speech.
Zucker says anyone who disagrees with him does not need to spend money at his store, where that sign was still visible today.
And everybody's loved it. Everybody's taken pictures of it. Everybody laughs.
Not everybody loved it, as we saw.
Well, yeah.
And some people think it's hurtful.
Well,
he told us that this hurt.
But here's the thing. I don't give a about feelings anymore. I'm 70 age. I went.
Chat's more active, but yeah. What happens? You keep going and things happen. I don't know. People still want to come at me for having a low sub count because, you know, whatever. But hey, yeah, things are happening. Also, you should like the stream. Everyone likes the stream.
To Vietnam to fight for all this. Do you think I care about some feelings? Absolutely not.
Supporters of the councilwoman are planning a protest out in front of the store Saturday.
Councilwoman? Transgender city councilwoman? This is a councilwoman yelling trans women are women because you got triggered by a fucking stupid sign. Like, yeah, the guy seems a bit pathological, maybe, if he's got a sign like that. But, like, Jesus Christ, it's like there's some kind of dignity gene or something that is missing in trans people. And that's actually how you would find who's transgender and who isn't, by the way.
Saturday morning at 10, Don Zucker says he is calling on some of his backers for a show of support at the same time.
There we go. What a transphobe. How terrible.
Got a dick.
A journey to discover the truth. The truth about what?
About what a woman is, you retard. Do you not remember the fucking name already? Like, geez, I'm actually sorry. Listen. I'm sorry for calling you that. You might have actually had a fucking head injury, and I might be being extremely rude about you. I'm so sorry. Jesus fucking Christ.
Definition is at least better than the definition you're offering because you aren't offering any. You're not a scientist. You're not a gender studies major.
No.
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got a dick.
A journey to discover the truth. The truth about what?
The truth about what a woman is. It's right there.
Oh my god, he just gave him the most easy fucking dunk ever. It's like he's playing basketball. He's just holding the ball up near his own net for people to just take it off and stick it in. Oh my god, Jamie. Fuck me. At least try, like, slightly. He knows, listen, let's be real here. He knows he doesn't have to make any kind of real criticism. He just has to snark the video a whole bunch and not really say much of anything. And his fans will eat it up. This was 2 years ago. He probably still had an okay viewership compared to now. Like, oh my god, it's so weak and it's embarrassing. Like, I started doing this because I was looking around to be like, where are the good trans arguments? There must be some. I haven't been watching trans content. What the fuck is it? And it's all awful. It's not all awful, but it's mostly awful. Like, fucking hell, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm so fucking mean to you people when your videos are shit. Do you know what I mean? Don't make shit videos then. Make actual points. Make us look like we're not a bunch of fucking deranged, delusional idiots. Jesus, fuck me. How could you not have a rational fear on either side? I don't know whether he's stupid or not. I don't care. It's like, it's immaterial, really.
They're in the title. How are you confused already? That's what this is about. Try to keep up,
And the thing is, if he doesn't want people to think he's stupid, then he shouldn't say stupid things. So, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Matt Walsh, of all people, is getting the easiest dunks in the fucking world on PhD boy over here. Wow.
Can a man become a woman?
I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Women only know.
A woman?
I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
The laugh is a tell. The laugh is definitely a tell. I don't care if I'm completely going way beyond my fucking boundaries, psychoanalyzing this person. I get psychoanalyzed fucking constantly. Fucking deal with it.
And become a woman?
I'm not a woman, so I
Yeah, I'm not a woman, like, laughs. This is a tell. This is a tell. You know what you're saying is silly. You know what you're saying is, like, fucking, what am I trying to say? I don't know. It's bad, it's stupid, it's, you know what you're saying is silly, and you're showing it. Like, you can cut your hair short and quiff it up in the middle all you want. Your sex hasn't changed from that. Matt Walsh is thriving, fuck me. Matt Walsh is thriving, not out of his own talent, but because of how stupid the trans activists have been. Completely agree. And that's probably more why I agree with him on these kind of videos than because he's making any good points. Like, these are the easiest arguments to debunk, not debunk, but like reflect back, like, ever.
can't really answer that.
Women only know what women are.
Women only know what women are, from a man dressed as a woman.
I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Women only
Oh no, they might not be male, I don't know.
know what women are.
Women only know what women are. Fuck me.
Can a man become a woman? That's a silly question, because trans women are not men who become women.
Jamie. That's exactly what they are. They're males. They take on certain traits of the opposite sex, certain social traits, certain physical traits, in order to more closely match the gender they believe they should have been. They're male. They become, well, they don't become female, but they become trans female. They become trans women. What are you going to say? Like, what's he going to say? You were born in the wrong body. There's no evidence for any of that kind of phenomenon happening. It was a metaphor when, like, people like me used to say it. ContraPoint says it in her own video that it's a fucking metaphor. I guess it's not anymore, but let's see what he says.
They are women who happen to be trans, just like...
By what measure? By what fucking measure?
Trans men are not women.
His actual political beliefs are actually brain dead Christian theocracy. Yeah, I think if I watched a political thing with Matt Walsh, I would have a lot more disagreements with him. Like, this is the most obvious shit in the world, and we're pretending that the world is different to what's objectively in front of us, I guess.
Who become men. We're men who happen to be trans.
How does that work? That doesn't make any sense.
At least ask the right questions.
At least ask the right question. No. Well, you want to control what questions people ask. You won't even answer the ones they ask because you want it to be something else so that you can actually answer it. It's dishonesty. And it's like flagrant dishonesty. It's so obvious. Why not just fucking come out having written the word liar across your forehead? Why has Boogie got that fucking tattoo on here? Maybe it should be you, bro.
Well, this is shocking. I'm appalled. Jamie, are you suggesting that gender is not fluid? Like 90% of people on TikTok identify...
Yeah, that's the other problem. It's like, okay, no one changes then. What about all the people that supposedly change?
...as gender fluid. Do they not exist? Does TikTok not exist? Are you saying their identities are not valid? Are you marginalizing gender fluid people? Because in fact, according to your worldview, a man...
He's not deliberately doing it. He's just, his worldview makes no sense. So.
...can absolutely become a woman. An individual could identify as a man one day and a woman the next. So, in fact, an individual could identify as a man 1 minute and a woman the next. And each of those identities are valid and true, right? Isn't that what you think? If you are whatever you identify as, and you identify as a woman after having identified as a man, that would mean that you became a woman.
A woman is anyone willing to come over for a few hours. Jesus.
You were one thing, and now you're another. So you became the other. Unless gender fluidity is false. Is that what you believe? You're a fluid phobe?
That is why I do believe that gender fluidity is false. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what fucking gender is anymore because everyone has made it so fucking complicated and everyone has a different definition for it. So it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know either. It's easier just to ignore it, I guess, in that case. Ooh.
Duly noted, Jamie. Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is? Do you want to tell us what a woman is?
Can you tell me what a cat is? Walks off. Oh, it's so cringe. Like, why not just answer things? Why not just answer things? It's purposely been made complicated. Yeah, because all these people are obfuscators. They're just obfuscators. Did you need a PhD to obfuscate? No. I could do that easily. I could just obfuscate every fucking point he makes. And it will be the easiest thing in the world. He makes such easy money, it's unbelievable. What, his fucking life must be amazing. Like, this is the easiest job in the fucking world. You don't even have to think. You've got your fucking points all laid out for you. And if you don't like something, just change the question. Just come up with some arbitrary bullshit as to why actually you're correct after all. Oh, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Good.
Yes, I mean, I don't know if this is lovely editing or if this is actually how it went down, but ask somebody to define an animal. Yeah, that really makes sense. Asking someone to define an animal that has nothing to do with the human concept and
nothing to do with the human concept. Didn't they evolve from the same things we did? The swift turn around and walk away. Yeah, I mean, I again, like he said, listen, I'll take a point from jammidodger. I don't know, like, what the editing's like. These people aren't really any more trustworthy than someone like jammidodger, interestingly enough, so.
Language of gender and sex is really not the clever move he thinks it is. I could bring up the example when a well-known transphobe tried to define
I mean, he doesn't even seem to know what Matt Walsh is doing. Let me show you. Reckless Byron, hi, how's it going? I'm good, I hope you're well. Like, what does he even think is happening here? Obviously, it's a case of like, well, you can't define this. What about this? Can you define what this is?
Do you want to tell us what a woman is?
Like, the look down, it's like, obviously she knows that this is BS, you know what I mean?
Yes, I mean, I don't know if this is lovely editing or if this is actually how it went down, but ask somebody to define an animal. Yeah, that really makes sense. Asking someone to define an animal that has nothing to do.
It really is a clever move because it's simple and demonstrates their tautological thinking. Maybe, I don't know. If there's someone smart enough to see it, then I guess it isn't, but hey. That's how you put these people to the test, you know? You can see what they're doing and call it out, and they still care about you as a trans person and would talk to you and have you in their community because you care about trans people. What do you want me to say? These people are all full of shit.
Do with the human concept and language of gender and sex is really not the clever move he thinks it is. I could bring up the example when a well-known transphobe tried to define a chair and then multiple people pointed out to him that that definition could—
Oh, I misunderstood what you were saying, P4GY. You want me to tell you what a feline is? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me it's decently smart because you're trying to get to the bottom of something. He doesn't know he's being mocked by Walsh. I think usually these people think everything is mocking them, to be fair. I'm not sure.
could also work for horses. So well done, a horse is now a chair, apparently. Pointed out to him that definition. Well-known transphobe tried to define a chair and then
separate seat for one person. How is a horse a seat for a person? It's not a seat for a person.
And multiple people.
What is this? What does he think this is showing? What does he think this is proving? Like, Jesus Christ, you can tell that he doesn't debate or have conversations or like bother with this kind of shit. How do I choose which videos to react from apart from suggestions, recommendations? Mostly just stuff that appears on my feed and I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. Occasionally I'll watch something that'll make me want to watch something, but most often, Walsh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's probably popping one out if he's watching. Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. I don't know what this is supposed to show. Obviously he's trying to get them to establish something, so he's got some kind of baseline for what they actually believe, because this person is an obfuscator. I don't know. But you're content to do more obfuscation. So, you know, if you think a seat for a person is a horse, then okay, go ahead, I guess.
People pointed out to him that that definition could also work for horses. So well done, a horse is now a chair, apparently.
So dumb. Last time he said he picks the weakest arguments from the weakest people. That's what he's doing with the horse thing. Yeah, well, I don't know. He doesn't have to think about any of this. He just can come back with anything. As long as you're disagreeing with Matt Walsh and you come across as pro-trans, because half these freaks are fucking vibes-based as fuck. Which, coming from me, is always an insult, just to be clear. Yeah, what am I supposed to think of this? Like, this is fooling no one except your own cult.
No, see,
and here's the thing. At the time, Matt Walsh had less subscribers than him. Matt Walsh has gone flying past him. Jamie is on the down low now. He's on the, sorry, not the down low. Jamie is on the decline. Like, his peak was between 2 and 4 years ago. Yeah, but when you're met with a weak, dumb argument, you have no response and walk away. Just shows how silly the situation is. That's why it's so good. Does it show how silly the situation is, or does it show that you can't answer basic questions? It really depends on your perspective.
You're confused again. The point of the cat question was not to quiz that person about the definition of a cat. The point was to respond to the claim that only women can know what women are. And first of all, as I discovered at the Women's March, that's not true, because lots of women don't know what women are. And second, you can absolutely know what something is without being that thing. Everybody knows what a cat is, and yet none of us are cats. I also know what a Chinese person is, despite not being Chinese. I know what planets and sandwiches and mice and trees and Mark Wahlberg is, despite the fact that I'm not any of those things. I even know what a chair is. That's not a hard question. That's a seat.
Right. Oh, okay. No, I get you now. Fair enough.
Built for one person, usually with 4 legs and a back. There you go. That's a chair. That definition would not apply to horses because horses aren't built, okay?
And aren't seats, they're beings. Jesus, usually the trans people are the fucking vegans and that shit. I love how I always have a 5-minute... yeah, I don't know. I get a lot of shit from it in comments, but I don't give a shit. It's transformative content. I don't care. And that's the whole part of the point. That's part of the point. Is that listening to other people talk about this makes me think more about it. And I want to share my thoughts. I'm not acting like you're like shitting on me, don't worry. I do get those kind of comments a lot. And it's usually like, oh, I could only get a few minutes in. It's like, I haven't even covered the full intro of the video yet. They haven't made any points for me to respond to yet. Like, chill the fuck out. Skip a bit. Speed it up. 1.5, 1.25 if I talk too fast for 1.5. Like, it's okay. Jesus fuck. People are so entitled.
Let's keep going.
I'm a biological woman that medically transitioned to appear like a male.
Okay, so this guy gets it.
I will never...
TRE voices. I've never heard of this. I mean, this is all from a couple of years ago. So now he's going to have to shit on another trans person or find some way to be like, you know, well, we agree to disagree. It's fine when it's not fine, and you don't agree to disagree.
Never be a man.
Oh, no, no, do not agree with that. 99.99999% of trans men will very strongly disagree with that
That doesn't make it, that doesn't make it correct.
Statement.
That's not even true. Plenty of trans men probably call themselves females.
A man.
Oh, no, do not.
Oh yeah, I know you're complimenting me, but like, I get so much like, I get so many comments like complaining about how long it takes me to play the video. It's like, my shit, don't watch my shit then. Don't worry, in the Insane 101, you're fine.
Not agree with that. 99.99999% of trans men will very strongly disagree with.
Not even true. Scott Nugent was a victim of a horrible medical malpractice and almost died after a phalloplasty. Okay, so these people are going to write it off as him having a bias due to that. Where is he getting this stats? Rectally sourced, I believe.
That statement. I don't know if that person actually identifies as a trans man.
If you don't know whether he identifies it or not, why even mention it? I feel like it's a bit of a straw man to say the left doesn't know what a woman is. Maybe. I think maybe I've seen too many terrible attempts at defining woman that aren't just adult female. It's more that that have too broad of a definition for people to accept. Maybe. I don't know. There's something about hearing someone stutter and not be able to just answer what a woman is when there's a fairly easy, obvious explanation.
By the sounds of it, they were assigned female at birth and transitioned in the sense of taking testosterone and living within society
So they're a trans man.
As a man, but yes, sure, for the purposes of your seemingly transphobic documentary, go and find one of the very, very few trans people who holds these kind of gender critical transphobic.
The very few. See how he downplays these populations because he won't talk to any of them. He hates these people. He hates trans people that don't agree with him. This is so fucking obvious, and I can't believe anyone would disagree with me on this. These people hate people like this. Fucking Leo and Willie, fucking Jez doing activism. They hate trans people that don't think like them. All of them. All of these fucking SJW freaks that are pushing an agenda, they all hate trans people unless they think the same way as them. New viewers only complain when they clip thinking the video will be an essay instead of a reaction video. What is a woman? Maybe. That's up to them. I don't know why they'd assume I'm a video essayist. I certainly don't claim to be one. Question not needing an answer.
Views on trans people and include people who holds these kind of gender critical transphobic.
Yeah, and we're completely dismissing someone's opinion because it's transphobic-y, gender critically. Yeah, you hate trans people unless they think like you. That makes you the transphobe, Jamie, to be clear. You're a transphobe.
Views on trans people and include them.
And you're downplaying a whole group of people that probably already feel like there's not many of them, that probably already feel gaslit to fuck, like I did for years, because everyone that I met was like fucking Jamie. And it's like, how can I be the only one that is having so many problems with these bizarre fucking culty fucking communities that we have, and the bizarre, insane things that we believe? How can I be the only one? I didn't really realize that I wasn't the only one until I watched a Destiny video where he read out a whole bunch of like emails from like 31 different trans people that think a lot more like I do. And it was like fucking mind-blowing for me. It was like one of the Keffel's manifesto things. It was mind-blowing for me. I've been fucking, Jesus, what am I trying to say here? Like, I've been gaslit over and over to believe that I'm on my own with all this shit, and like, no one else thinks the way you do. All the majority disagrees. He is trying to push this. It's disgusting. Like, yeah, maybe I take some of this shit personally because it's like, this is shit I've actually experienced, and this is shit that has been actually harmful to me. Believe it or not, do we care about trans people or not here? Let's fucking actually be clear about this, because he isn't. He isn't clear whether he cares about trans people. He cares about people that think the same as him. He hates trans people.
Them ignore the many thousands and the vast, vast majority of trans people who will very strongly disagree.
You're making this up. You disgusting freak, pretending that people don't exist so that your worldview makes sense. Oh, but people are constantly saying that you don't exist. It doesn't make sense. You're a fucking loser. I fucking hate you. I'm sorry, I'm gonna calm down. I'm probably cut that out because it's so aggravating. This person is disgusting, man.
With this very, very small number of trans people who will say
very, very small number. Where's your number? Where's your statistics? Stop gaslighting people. Stop downplaying the existence of fucking literal trans people who you supposedly advocate for. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Jesus fuck. This is evil. This is like unironically fucking evil is what this is.
Things like this.
But who cares if Scott Nugent's views are in the minority among trans people? Trans people are in the minority among the general population. If you can dismiss Scott for being in the minority...
He doesn't even question that. Like, at least question that. At least say, actually, there's others that think that, you know?
Minority, then can't I dismiss you for being in the minority? Also, I did not ignore other trans people. We talked to lots of trans people in the film, some of whom you've already seen in the trailer, despite claiming that we ignored them. We tried to speak to many more trans people, but they refused to speak to us. And this is a pretty common phenomenon, right? Trans activists claim that nobody will talk to us. Oh, why don't you talk to us?
Wait, I don't know how much I believe that. Like the whole trans activists are saying no one will talk to us. There is a fair amount to which they say things like, oh, well, if you want to understand this better, talk to this person. And it's like, okay, well, they thought I was trolling, so never mind. But I don't know that trans people are really going around saying like, oh, why won't people just talk to us and understand us? I don't think that's really true. I think they usually tell people to Google things themselves or like read some history, which is the hack's way of saying, I don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about.
And yet, when I try to talk to them, they literally run away. I mean, literally get up and run away in some cases. Okay, Jumping ahead.
And I hope he's at least somewhat aware of why that is, by the way. Like, it's Matt Walsh. Like, yeah, probably some people are not going to be very trusting of your motives. Like, that is to a certain extent understandable.
Now we get to the part of the trailer where I'm talking to a gender-affirming pediatrician about the, quote-unquote gender-affirming, about the chemical castration drugs she gives to kids. Well, I say I'm talking to her about it, but it's more accurate to say that I tried to talk to her about it. She threatened to storm out of the interview, and as soon as I correctly noted that the puberty blocker Lupron is used to chemically castrate pedophiles.
What are we watching? We're watching Matt Walsh versus jammidodger, who's a trans YouTuber who pretends that he's an advocate, but actually hates trans people, unless they agree with him. If they fall in line and kiss his boots, then they're allowed.
And then that's what brings us to what Jamie has to say about all this. Let's listen.
Puberty blockers have actually been used in cis kids with precocious...
Okay, millionth fucking time. Precocious puberty and transition are two different things, Jamie. You have a PhD, you know this.
Puberty for a very long time, decades as well, decades. Precocious puberty being when puberty starts too early, so they use puberty blockers to hold it off a bit till the child is a more appropriate age. There has...
Do trans people use them at that age, or do they use them at a later age? Does that mean that maybe the application is different and might need to be kind of looked at differently, studied differently? I don't know. Fuck me. PhD.
There's never been a fuss over cis kids with early puberty having...
What the fuck does that even mean? They're treating, and am I gonna have to say this every video today? Fucking precocious puberty. They're treating a fucking issue. Do you want your kid growing hair down there, getting like fertile at fucking 5 years old? No, probably not. Like, what's that got to do with transition? It's just the same medicine. It's like saying that my HRT is like a menopausal woman taking HRT because she's menopausal. It's not the same thing.
Access to puberty blockers in the same way that there has been a fuss over trans kids. They're the same drugs, they're used in the same way to hold off puberty until a child is ready to go through puberty.
They're not even used in the same way. They're used like way later. He's just full of shit. He's just lying. Wait, someone in fucking chat even just said it. I'm just lying. Yes, exactly.
No one ever gave a shit about puberty blockers until it became widely known that they were used to help trans kids.
Yes, because we're such victims, Jamie. Oh my God, you're such a victim. Oh, Jamie, look at you with your 1 million subscribers and your fucking heaps of fucking money and your book deals. How hard trans people have it. Fuck me. What a fucking sad cunt. I'm so glad an advert came. I need to calm down a bit there. Jesus Christ. But yeah, precocious puberty, trans, two different things. There's no point. And he's literally using this as like a victim fucking thing. Like, you just care about it now because it's trans people. Like, oh my God, come on. Like, you so badly want for all these people to be sat at home all day, like, ha ha ha, how can I make trans people's lives miserable today? It's just not true. It's just silly.
No one ever gave a shit about puberty blockers until it became widely known that they were used to help trans kids.
Okay, Jamie, lean in close here so you can hear this. I want you to hear it. So pay close attention. Precocious puberty is a physical condition. It's an ailment, often caused by tumors on the ovaries or adrenal glands, or by problems with the nervous system or genetic syndromes. Precocious puberty happens when a child's body is doing what it is not supposed to do naturally. That's why we call it precocious, meaning it's happening earlier than it's supposed to. There are also direct physical consequences to not treating precocious puberty, such as the potential for stunted growth and other problems. But puberty blockers for, quote, trans kids are used to treat, quote unquote, puberty that is not precocious. There's no physical problem. Puberty is happening exactly when it's...
Yeah, he'll literally say it's like used in the same way, and so many other people will. This isn't just a jammidodger thing. I will go ham on him because I don't like what he stands for. I don't like anything about him. But it's not just him. Loads of them do this. It's insane. You can't treat puberty, like precocious puberty, as the same as like transing as a child. That's insane. You're not even using it at the same time or for the same length potentially. And you're not using it because there's a problem with your puberty. So it's a different thing. And it's not used in the same way. I'm gonna lose my shit over and over about that because people just keep saying it and it's so annoying. And that's, by the way, when you hear these kind of puberty blockers are 100% safe and like reversible and all that shit, they're talking about precocious puberty. They're not talking about transition. They're just appropriating everything from precocious puberty.
It's supposed to. So on the one hand, we have puberty blockers used to treat early puberty in children with a physical health condition. And on the other, we have puberty blockers used to stave off normal puberty in children with no relevant physical health condition.
I prefer the third option. It's like my stream. Check the links. We got Discord, we got Streamlabs, super chats, all that kind of shit. Yeah, like the stream.
It's very similar to the difference between top surgery for physically healthy girls and a double mastectomy for someone with breast cancer. And you don't see a difference in these two scenarios? The difference is that they're literally opposite.
Yeah, he's, this is one of those things, I can't tell whether Jamie's like full of shit on or is actually something's gone wrong in his brain. I don't know. I need to stop saying like rude things because like I'm not actually trying to be like mean and shit. I just hate this shit. I just hate it. I can't with this. This is the kind of gaslighting I've been subjected to for years and years and fucking years.
Opposites of each other. That's the difference. I know it might be a little too subtle for you PhDs, not the most perceptive bunch, I've learned.
Is it transphobic to tell the truth?
The interview's over. Let's turn off the cameras.
No, it's not transphobic to tell the truth. But people are going to call you it anyway.
Excuse me.
Hello, fair. I just wanted to know, what is a woman?
And you're not going to find out.
Based on what I'm saying, would you ever want to move to America?
They say no, never.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Honestly, that felt like a hot mess and was just filled with all of the transphobic dog whistles and transphobia that was...
Transphobic dog whistles, such as...
thinly veiled as caring about...
Transphobic is actually... The word transphobic is actually a MAP dog whistle. Anti-trans, that's another one. People like appropriating our shit because we're the ultimate victims, trans people, obviously. So like pedophiles keep using our language. So don't say anti-trans and don't say transphobic because those are pedophile dog whistles. Thank you.
About children. Truth is, these people, the people with these views and the transphobic views and making films like this, will not have had any concern for the cis kids receiving the exact same treatment. And I'm not saying they should.
The exact same treatment. Like, fuck off, bro. You know what you're saying is a lie. You know. You must know.
And transphobia that was thinly veiled as...
Transphobia that was thinly... I love how they never actually, like, give examples. They just describe it in the worst way possible. It's so cringe.
Caring about children. Truth is, these people, the people with these views and the transphobic views and...
Mate, you pretend to care about trans people. You pretend to care about trans people. But any of them that disagree with you, you hate on them too. Because it's not about trans people. It's about the beliefs. That's what you care about. Those people with the beliefs that you have. That will give you money. And you're probably a fucking anti-capitalist to top it all off.
Making films like this will not have had any concern for the cis kids receiving the exact same treatment, and I'm not saying they should have. What I'm pointing out is that they all of a sudden have concern and are pouring money and resources into making stuff like this to just...
Well, I don't know, why are there fucking money and resources going to people like fucking WPATH or mermaids? I don't know.
...on an incredibly discriminated against community within society. Why? It doesn't make...
He's a victim, he's a victim,
makes sense to me. There's just a lot of fear-mongering going around, there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of half-truths, there's a lot of dog whistles.
Yes, there is a lot of fear-mongering and misinformation, such as that men can literally become female.
And there's a lot of people buying into it, when in reality, trans people...
Projection.
People, we just want to live our lives, okay? Trans...
Just ignore anything Tankies, Crumb Tubers regurgitate. I'd love to, and I have been. The problem is, these people are very influential in like trans circles. This person has over 1 million subscribers. People like Philosophy Tube are like fucking hot. And someone like ContraPoints used to be pretty hot, and the last few years has like backed off of like political shit altogether, because she at least had enough integrity, I guess, that she wouldn't continue bullshitting and lying like idiots like this or Philosophy Tube will.
Kids deserve access to trans-affirming healthcare, which again, just reminding you, a majority of which is purely just...
Oh, what was he saying again? This fucking soy ranting, like... They cram in like 1 million talking points a minute, and it's... You have to stop every few seconds just to like... dissect each one and understand what they're actually saying, instead of what they're telling you they're saying, because you can't trust that. You can't trust anything that's been like deliberated in this head. Anything that's not an immediate reaction, anything that he spent any time thinking about is bullshit. This is his brain. It's just a English to bullshit translator. They're not fooling anyone besides preteens. Yeah, well, they're unfortunately still fooling plenty of people. And no one calls these people out, really.
around, there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of half-truths, there's a lot of dog whistles, and there's a lot of people buying.
It's great. You can just say there's lots of this and that and the other and never actually really substantiate any of it.
Into it. When in reality, trans people, we just want to live our lives.
No, you don't. You wouldn't be making this fucking video if you just wanted to live your life. What about that person I was watching screaming at a guy because of a fucking stupid sign? Like, this is ridiculous. Wanting to live your life. I wanted to live my life and not be completely ostracized from my own community for having slightly different opinions. But that's what's happened to me. I can't prove any of that. I can't show it anymore because I wasn't in the game of like recording things, screenshotting things at the time, because I didn't think people were this bad, but they were the whole time. And I wasted so much time trying to be friends with these kinds of fucking people. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, what a terrible fucking person. What an evil fucking piece of shit.
Okay, trans kids deserve access to trans-affirming healthcare, which...
Do they? And improves their well-being. Turban at all. Listen, if you don't know who Jack Turban is, look up Jack Turban on Twitter. Look up Jack Turban on Twitter and tell me that this person is not completely compromised, is not completely bought and paid for, the same way that this guy is. Improves their well-being. Improves, like, by what measure? Being on puberty blockers improves their well-being. Well-being, what does that mean in this context? You know what I mean? Fucking Jack Turban, there we go. They're all in cahoots, by the way. They're all in cahoots. These fucking doctors, they know what they're doing as well. They know what they're doing.
Okay, trans kids deserve access to trans-affirming healthcare, which again, just reminds...
And that's just a statement. They deserve it, do they? Based on what? Do they deserve to drink alcohol? Do they deserve to be able to purchase homes? Like, what else are we going to say they deserve based on literally nothing? Been tolerated, but it won't last and it gets nasty. Yeah, it's going to come crashing down. It's going to come crashing down in an ugly fucking way. And I can't wait. It doesn't need to fool lots of people. Trans people aren't lots of people. Yeah, true. Tiny minority. But this guy feeds them lies maliciously. It's not even just this guy. Most YouTubers that I've seen do it. And the thing is, a lot of them are like secondhand. You've got idiots like Luxander who'll just read an Erin in the Morning article and believe everything she says and all that shit. Like, it's a huge problem. Like, there's it's, Jesus Christ, I don't even know where he sits on the fucking pyramid. Like, somewhere in the middle, I guess. Well, near the top. I mean, almost no trans people have the kind of money and resources this guy does.
You, a majority of which is purely just social. And then the other...
They deserve to have treatments that alleviate or delay symptoms gender dysphoria. What does it mean to deserve something, though? What's he even saying there? Like, if drinking alcohol improves the mental well-being, let's say, of children, fuck me, do they deserve to drink alcohol? That was, I butchered the fuck out of this, but hopefully you know what I mean.
Other little bit is puberty blockers.
Brothers and sisters, the question on everyone's mind is, how are we able to deliver aid into Gaza?
And the thing is, all those things that you said that are completely unsubstantiated, the opposite opinion of that is completely not allowed and, like, shunned. It's crazy. You have to believe his utter bullshit with no justification, or that's it. And you're a terrible person, blah, blah, blah. As if someone's worldview is what makes them a good or bad person, you know? Like, is there not left-wing and right-wing pedophiles? Is there not trans fucking pedophiles? There's plenty of those. Not that fucking jammidodger ever calls any of them out, because why would he?
So a lot to parse through here, but I couldn't...
Well, it's not the same, and they're doing it correctly and under doctor supervision. How do you know whether they're doing it correctly or not? What do you mean when you say correctly?
Help a note, Jamie, that you never said anything specifically about the African tribe. I mean, they were literally...
Well, so you didn't really answer what it means to deserve something. Just saying.
Laughing at the very idea of transgenderism. And they had a lot more to say, which you'll see in the film when it comes out on June 1st. But you seem to let them off the hook. You called Scott Nugent a transphobe and me a transphobe.
Yeah, of course he hated on the guy that has a different opinion to him that's trans. And called him transphobic. jammidodger is a transphobe. Do you want to know how the transphobia really works? Let me explain how it works. You stick up for trans people, but only a subsection of them. And then you hate on all of the rest of them because your idiot fucking subsection of trans people has enabled you to do so. They think it's okay because they hate on people constantly as well. They're also extremely hateful people. That's how it works. basically what you're saying is trans people can only have this fucking argument, this fucking belief, sorry, and it's fucking useless. Oh, hi, Sottle. I agree with you. What I will do, however, because you don't deserve to be in the same room as me metaphorically or otherwise, is, oh shit, I blocked you. Bye, Sottle. Don't come back. You're a fucking loser.
But you seem somehow reluctant to call out the bigotry of that group of Africans.
Okay, yeah, but maybe they don't deserve, but people should have access to stuff like food and healthcare. There's not really all that much evidence that taking puberty blockers and stuff is even good for them. And there's a lot of arguments against children delaying their puberty in this way, because they might be starting on a journey that they sterilize themselves by the time they're in their early 20s. They've got an awful lot of time having... What am I trying to say here? Having made that decision as a child to transition and become sterile, they've got an awful lot of time to then... fuck, I can't think straight. To then regret it. There we go. You know, there's an insane amount of responsibility to put on a child to decide that they're this gender now and they should go through all this treatment, which is fairly experimental in a lot of ways. Like, the children, the puberty blockers like doctrine, the protocol, whatever, this comes from like one study from like the Netherlands. And then the US like did another study that they got similar results and the UK got the opposite. Like, it's really not as airtight as you think it is, I would say.
That I spoke to, which is kind of interesting. As for your claim at the end that most trans-affirming healthcare, quote unquote, for kids is social and the rest is puberty blockers, well,
imagine how many adult or teen trans people dysphoria would be alleviated if they transitioned earlier. Well, you don't really know that. Like, maybe they'd have been happier. Maybe they'd have had to have had one of those horrid colon vaginoplasties, because what can happen with puberty blockers is that you don't grow enough down there, as in your penis, to turn into a vagina. So they have to use other things like your colon, which I don't know about anyone else. That sounds nightmarish to me. I don't know. I don't know if alleviating dysphoria is the only thing to consider here. If they're coming to trans healthcare, usually cases are more severe. I disagree with that. I think a lot of people exaggerate what they're experiencing. And I think a lot of people say what the doctors want to hear as opposed to what's actually true of them.
Well, you're lying. As you know, kids are getting surgery as young as 14 or even younger potentially. They're chopped.
Oh, hey, I think Sottle is the first person I've blocked. That's a huge honor. I wish I'd given it to someone else now, just because that person is such an unbelievable fucking retard that they don't deserve that honor, you know?
The breasts off of minors. That's part of the trans-affirming healthcare that you seem to want to skate around. The puberty blockers we've already covered.
At an early age. But I mean, at an early age, like, how do you know if they even know what's going on? Like, what have they been exposed to? What shit are they potentially repeating? Are they going through a phase? Did they play with Barbies once, or are they actually like freaking out trying to cut their penis off at all times? Like, I don't really know.
They're not reversible, they're not safe, and these are indeed the exact same drugs they use to chemically castrate convicted pedophiles. The social transition that you talk about is designed to, and almost always has the effect of, putting kids on the path to medical transition a little further down the line, as you also know. So the distinction between social and medical transition for kids is misleading at best. But no surprise there, as a trans activist, misleading people is what you do best.
Like, the social transition for the kid is not as bad as taking puberty blockers, if we're seeing it as bad. I'm not saying it's bad necessarily, but like, if we're saying it's like that. But there's some criticisms that still apply, such as that they're still making an insanely like huge decision that is potentially leading to their early sterilization at a young age. And like, imagine you get to like 30 and you've been sterile since you were 24 and you're like, shit, I wanted kids. And I made this decision not to have them when I was a child. Like, that would be painful as fuck to me. I think it's tempting to say, oh, you definitely would have passed better and stuff like that, and they'd be happier. It is very difficult to actually predict, unfortunately.
Best. Speaking of which, I noticed something else, Jamie. You just gave a whole 10-minute response, and yet you never did actually respond to the question. Kind of curious. Your response could have been 15 seconds. You could have invalidated and debunked the whole film, humiliated me, and scored a major victory against transphobia simply by providing a definition of woman that's coherent and consistent with gender ideology.
See, I could have utterly destroyed Matt Walsh woman is an adult human female. I call myself a trans woman rather than a woman because I'm male. Yeah, you don't know. That's why you should have more trans healthcare, as in more psychiatric supervision, and should be judged case by case by medical professionals. I mean, yeah, true enough. That's what the cast review said, you know. I happen to basically agree with the cast review. I thought it was pretty good.
Ideology, but you didn't.
But the thing is, you have to understand at least one other thing. Like, in America, it's probably not so bad. In the UK, the fucking NHS is like underfunded and like over indebted and all sorts of shit. And trans healthcare comes under that. The NHS has huge problems like across the board. Why would they start focusing on like the trans stuff, which affects like 1% of the population at most, when we've got so many other problems? It's really hard to sell. Benji isn't as bad as this dude, but still a weirdo. I'm not a fan of Benji. I was in Ben Shapiro. I thought his name was fucking Benji for a second then. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm getting quite tired.
Is that because you're polite? So polite that you'll repeatedly accuse me of bigotry and call the film a hot mess, but not provide the one thing that would actually debunk the central premise of the film? Is it politeness, or are you sitting on a gigantic house of cards and you know it, and you know I know it?
He's actually kind of nailing him a bit there. I think my criticisms are way better of Jammidodger, but it's Matt Walsh. We're not like shooting for the stars here. But yeah, he's kind of nailing him. He knows better than this, but it's also very lucrative for him.
But you don't want anyone else to know. Well, I guess that's just another question that I'm asking, even though...
Yeah, he's calling him an obfuscator. He is an obfuscator. Jamie fucking Reigns is a fucking obfuscator.
It's a
107 IQ. I'd have guessed lower, but fair enough. Apparently this is every answer Piers Morgan has received on his show about what a woman is. And it's like 7.5 minutes. Jesus.
It's a simple question that now terrifies politicians.
Here in Australia it's getting weird, but there's a lot of pushback. It's pretty similar in the UK. In the US, they've had studies and stuff that have very much supported the affirm model. The kind of industry that's built up around it is very ideological. Whereas our stuff, it's run by the government, it's part of the NHS. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, places like the UK and Sweden and Finland are like kind of leading the pushback, and it's gonna keep happening.
Politicians the world over. And it's this: what is a woman? What's a woman? Well, what is a woman? What is a woman, out of interest? Can a woman have a penis? Facts are facts, science is science. Can you answer for me this very simple question?
By the way, I don't like Piers Morgan very much either, just to be clear before someone tells me I'm meat riding him or something.
What is a woman?
Well, of course, I can't answer the question anyway. A woman is a female, and the female is defined by the genes she has, essentially. She has 2 X chromosomes if she's human normally, and that would be the definitive. It's probably easy.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I was cringing because it's like a long-ass answer, but...
To define a male. A male has specific masculine genes, which make us different from women.
Well, of Pommy region, yeah. Hey, my dad lives there as well, so...
And the female position is the default human position. That is to say, if there's no male genes there, you're born as a woman.
But I mean, dictionaries just simply say a woman is an adult female and a man is an adult male. Why is the world finding it all so complicated now?
It is really quite extraordinary. Basically, we are a cluster. Standing here, I'm a clump of about 8 trillion cells at least, each of which of those cells has got my maleness in it. I'm defined genetically. Every single cell has got those male genes. And that would apply to a woman who doesn't have those genes. So that's what makes the difference. And we cannot escape the fact that we are genetically determined in this way. Of course, they define in terms of our shape, for example, where they have breasts and all the rest of it. But essentially, that's what it amounts to.
What is a woman to you?
So, for me, a woman is someone who is an adult, who is human, and is female. And female is both a biological category, where we're talking about biological sex.
Here we go.
Sex, and a gender category. So depending...
A gender category? What's a gender category? How many gender categories are there?
Depending on what we're talking about, if you're saying best female rapper, no one's checking chromosomes. If you're talking about female reproductive health, people aren't just talking about your social life. It can be a biological or a...
Does anyone else remember when Sam Smith was up for a reward with a music award with a load of women? And so they were like, this category has no males in it. And it's like, you sure about that? You sure about that?
Gender category.
So when, for example, the hot issue of the day, when you have trans women athletes who are competing against women born to female biological bodies, do you think that's fair?
Do I think that's fair? I think you'd have to take a look at the whole picture.
Well, Leah Thomas today, when you have trans women athletes who are competing against women born to female biological bodies, do you think that's fair?
Sorry, as soon as she started talking, my bullshit detector went off fucking massively.
I think that's fair. I think you'd have to take a look at the whole picture.
So many people are like, oh, I hate the way that like politicians talk. Anyone talks like that whenever they don't want to answer something. It's not just politicians. Like, is this person a politician? I think she's a fucking journalist or something. This is just kind of slimy speak, and everyone fucking does it.
Or Leah Thomas, the swimmer, for example.
So it might be that in 5 to 10 years, when you have much more trans athletes breaking through, and you might see cisgender women at a disadvantage, you have to go.
Oh, so if it starts being a problem. Great. It's probably unfair, but we'll wait till it actually becomes obviously unfair. Oh my god.
Let's rejig the system in a way which can protect women's sport and include trans.
Listen, I'm not a fan of fucking Julia Hartley-Brewer either. I completely feel what she's... like, this is cooked. Like, what the fuck? How do people get the fucking sports thing so wrong? It's the easiest answer in the world. No. Trans women probably shouldn't run with fucking females.
People, I think right now, because trans people have been so marginalised.
See, here's my problem. You're a smart young lady, right? I follow you on Twitter. You're very smart.
Yeah, so it's easy to see when she's bullshitting.
You're very intellectually rigorous about stuff. You know, when you look at stuff like Leah Thomas demolishing women in the pool in America, that this isn't fair. And you.
Here's the thing as well. Like the regulations for that Leah Thomas person, she only had to be on HRT for a year. Like, I think other regulations for like elite sports and stuff is usually 2 years. And there's evidence that suggests that that the strength advantage doesn't completely come down in 2 years on HRT. So it's like, well, what about 1 year then? It kind of seems like Leah Thomas probably had a massive advantage, no?
Can support, as I do and you do, trans rights, fairness and equality, and understand that on issues like sport, it is unfair. What is a woman?
What's that got to do with the price of bread, Piers?
I literally told you I'm about to debate this.
I'm not on that segment. Guys, ask the next guest.
What is a woman?
What do you mean ask the next guest? I said ask the next guest.
You don't know what a woman is?
A woman is someone who defines as a woman, period, done. Next guest, please.
Anyone?
Oh god, she's really rude. Like, why are we acting like this?
Ask the next guest.
You don't know what a woman is?
I'm not on that segment. Guys, ask the next guest.
What is a woman?
Ask the next guest. I'm like, wow.
What do you mean ask the next guest? I said ask the next guest.
You don't know what a woman is?
A woman is someone who defines as a woman, period, done.
Anyone?
Next guest, please.
Anyone? Okay, I'm a woman. Is that, yeah?
Does that person not seem like the most unlikable fucking person ever?
I said next guest because that's not my segment.
If I say I'm a woman,
I know you're trying to trap me and I'm not falling for it.
If I say I'm a woman, do you agree I'm a woman?
I said next guest because I'm not falling for it. Bye.
Bruv, it's not your show. If he's gonna ask you a question, he'll ask you a question. Calm the fuck down.
You're not getting your little clip out of me, your little audio clip out of me.
Well, no, he is, because you're making it far worse by being a dick instead of just answering or being like, I prefer not to answer that, I don't want to be transphobic or something. But that would have been too obviously ridiculous. So you do have to soy out, you know?
Without realising it, you may have just given me my little clip. That's the point.
That's wonderful for
that,
you.
ironically, is...
Okay, actually, I don't care about the clip suddenly. Fuck me. Imagine trans read. Listen, I don't know. And listen, there's nothing to do with this person's race. I love black people. I love everyone. I hate most people, but it's got nothing to do with race. It's like, it's exactly proportional.
Is the clip.
That's wonderful.
Because when young women can't actually say what a woman is, I think it's bad.
I am a woman.
You're a woman.
I'm a young woman who's very...
Well, yeah, obviously. How do we know? Because you were fucking born that way.
Very proud.
Am I if I say I'm a woman?
I'm very proud to serve a membership of students who support...
I'm a very proud woman. By the way, a woman is anyone who calls themselves a woman. Those sentences do not compute. Please
free speech, who work hard to make sure that our students...
You said anybody who says they're a woman's a woman.
Who exercise their democratic right to protest and do so in a way that is in line with the law.
What is a woman? Me. Celia. That her over there. There's plenty of us.
I mean, but are you worried that in this trans debate, because I support trans rights, fairness,
so do I, of course.
I just don't like the attack on women's rights that some of the activists are driving, where you have in sport this apparent unfairness now going on. I mean, what do you think when you see that?
Well, I don't watch sport.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I know what you're talking about, yes, and I know what you want me to say.
I don't want you to say anything.
Yes, of course you do.
See, people can't even talk about this shit. It's like, it's pathetic. People have to like, hide from these like conversations because trans people can't handle someone suggesting that we're not the same as women. It's just embarrassing.
Tell you what
you
to
want
say.
me to agree with you?
No, I don't. This is uncensored, Michelle.
Well, of course it's uncensored. I think that a person should be who they feel that they are and who they... But
what if they're wrong and they've done a whole load of irreversible shit that has left them unable to do plenty of things that any normal person should be able to do?
I do believe... I can't say this. I can't say this. No, I can't.
Why?
She can't say anything because you can't talk about trans stuff because people will just fucking cancel you whatever you do. It's absolutely insane. I'm not even talking about her really. It's like, it's the environment that has been fostered around this whole thing.
You feel like you can't because you make it trouble?
I can't because I don't want to get hate mail.
You see, but you've gone through your entire career saying...
There we go. Like, this is the thing that brings people down. It's not... It's not like wars or anything like that. It's trans people.
Exactly what you always think.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No,
I've read your diary.
I've never gotten into the politics of biology.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
To be clear, I have absolutely no idea why Piers Morgan is asking Joan Collins about this shit. I have no idea. She says she doesn't even watch sport. Like, I don't know. I didn't know about her being like a sports personality or having spoken about trans people ever. I feel all my friends up when they're like, look at youth.
I understand why people don't want to go there. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I don't want to go there.
If I asked you what a woman is, what would you say?
I would say a human being with boobs.
I think that's Macy Gray. She got in trouble for this, so...
Start there.
Yeah, I mean, the dictionary is quite straightforward. It just says
someone with boobs, so fat people, fat men.
Adult female, right?
Oh, and a vagina. Yeah, I think this is Macy Gray. I mean, she sounds a lot like Macy Gray's singing voice, if it's not.
No, a lot of people... Yeah, see, that's a little getting confusing. The whole he, she, they, that's going to...
And I'm not sure why, really. It's a bit like this whole issue of transgenders in sport. Because I support all trans rights to fairness and equality.
Me too.
But not where you have people born to obvious physical superior bodies.
Me too.
Transitioning and then thrashing the women at their sport.
Oh, what a terrible transphobe. I don't know if they should be in sport. It seems unfair. Terrible transphobia. Bigotry. Beyond fucking measure.
I totally agree.
Like, she's just black. She's got no idea what trans people go through. Fucking hell.
And I will say this, and everybody's going to hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Right.
Sorry.
You feel that?
I know that for a fact. Like, if you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want. But that doesn't make you a woman, just because I call you a her.
Yeah, and people, you know, this compelled speech shit, just end it. Just stop. Stop feeling entitled to the words from people's mouths.
And just because you got a surgery.
A woman is an adult female.
Windy woman. I think I know what you mean. I quite like Abba and Preach.
Who does not have a penis? I can't even believe I have to say that on air.
It is a sickness. That kind of thing.
This is not something that should be debated. It's a biological fact. You can't refute basic scientific sexual physiology. How have we got here, Matt? How have we got to a place where young women are
and here we come full circle.
Paralyzed with fear about even saying what they are?
This is gender ideology, and that's what this is. And you know, you could kind of, if you want to trace it back, you could kind of decide how far back you want to go. There are certain landmark moments you can point to in history. Now, I think for a lot of people, it feels like everyone knew what a woman was, and a man was a man, and a woman was a woman, up until about 8 years ago, and then everyone lost their minds.
Final question, Matt. In the interest of fair play, what is a man?
Well, if a woman is an adult human female, then I suppose a man would be an adult human male, I would say.
I think it really is as simple as that.